Hey beautiful souls, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube Pick a Card reading. I hope that you're doing really well wherever you are. Today's Pick a Card reading, we're going to be having a look at what it is that you need to know right now about yourself and your current situation that you're in. So only you will know what that situation is. So of course, because it's a very general reading, you'll need to take the messages as they apply or resonate with you, okay? Remember as well that time is an illusion and energy is fluid and nothing is concrete. So with these messages, the beauty of tarot is that once you kind of get the messages you need, you can then use it as a tool for reflection and move forward with wherever you want to go to make whatever you want to make of it. So I really enjoy this reading. I am about to show you 3 different oracle cards, or well, I'm going to be showing you the secrets of Wandwood. They're enchanted, it's like an enchanted oracle deck, woodland oracle deck. It's really cute. So I'm going to be putting out 3 of those cards. You're going to choose one of those and that's going to be your reading. If you would like to get a personal reading with me tailored to something that is just for you, you can find my details in the description box below. If you'd like to follow my social media platforms, they are there as well. If you would like to leave me a tip, my PayPal details are below. And another way you can also support me is by subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and please feel free to leave any feedback and comments below if you wish to. I really hope you enjoy this reading. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, lovely people. So these are the 3 cards that you have to choose from for your reading. So again, just to remind you, we are looking at what it is that you need to know right now about you and your current situation. It's going to be a real look at what's happening for you, and there's probably going to be messages that you might already be aware of, but we're also really, the intention here is looking for messages that you are not aware of, that may be sitting in your subconscious or unconscious mind, that is going to be helpful for you to know what's going on and how to move forward, okay? So we have love as pile 1. We have be magical representing pile 2. And for pile 3, we have nature. So if you need a little bit more time to decide which oracle card you're more drawn to, that's not a problem, but I will get you to pause the video because I am about to start your readings. Hello there, pile 1, or for those of you who chose love, this is your reading. This does look like it's a love reading, or it's about a situation around love or a relationship or something that brings you love, inner love. You'll need to take it as it resonates. Now, your current energy around this whole situation is the Tower. So there's been a Tower moment, which basically means a foundation that didn't have a strong enough structure. Well, the Tower fell because the structure and the foundation of the structure wasn't strong enough to hold what was happening. So something has crumbled, and it could have been something like kind of out of the blue, but something has been, you know, the tower's being broken down for it to be rebuilt. And having Poseidon here, because these cards are the Greek mythic tarot cards, if you weren't already aware, this is really The sign really represents like powerful emotions, deep forces beneath the surface, and things that are kind of beyond our control. So right now something might be shifting or changing in a way that feels like what I said before, really unexpected or unsettling. And it can feel like old structures or beliefs or plans or way of doing things are being shaken up. So while this can feel really uncomfortable, the purpose isn't to punish you. The purpose here of this, because this is a major arcana, which means it's karmic and there's big lessons to be learned in this, is the purpose is to clear away what's no longer working so something more authentic can take its place, right? So it can be rebuilt. So the message here is to avoid resisting change. You know, like, kind of like the ocean, some forces are stronger than us. And the more we kind of fight them, the harder the experience becomes. So this is really saying that you need to trust whatever is being cleared away is creating space for something more aligned with who you are becoming as a person. Yeah. Let's get into your other cards. So you've got quite a few major arcanas here. So you've got the Lovers, the Queen of Wands, Temperance, Five of Swords, Seven of Swords, and Knight of Wands. Okay, so we have two major arcanas, three major arcanas, but let's get into it. So with the Lovers and the Queen of Wands, the Lovers is not just about relationships, it's also about important choices and being really true to yourself. And the Queen of Wands is about confidence and self-respect. It's about courage and self-belief as well. So with the Lovers as well, with this particular deck of cards, this is really about, I can't remember who this is, but this is really about making the right choice by making a choice that is balanced. So it's a choice that is rational with the heart as well, and kind of taking everything into consideration as a whole. So it's really about making sure that whatever decision you're making or whatever you're moving into is like a good balanced decision, not one that's just purely rational or purely based on love and desire, because that's really important. And I think sometimes if this energy is imbalanced, the decision can come more from ego, right? And ego isn't inherently bad, but ego is made up of like some subconscious experiences and traumas and thoughts and all that sort of stuff. So this is about being, I feel like there's a big message here about not only kind of making sure that you make a choice that is keeping in mind your own self-beliefs, your confidence, and making sure it's around your self-worth and making sure that you are happy with it, and that you don't make decisions based on fear or guilt or what others expect from you, but also to ensure that it's not being made from a place of ego. So it's not you making a decision because when the Queen of Wands is imbalanced, there's, you know, you're fiery, you haven't really thought about it properly, it's just like flames, right? So, but there's another message here as well, looking at it from the other perspective, where when you are balanced, it's a reminder that you don't need to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Okay, so be comfortable in the decision that you're making, know your worth, but just make sure it's not like an ego-based decision with these particular cards. Okay, with Temperance and the Five of Swords, Temperance is kind of, this is really about balance, patience, and bringing kind of opposing forces together. So it's really about balancing passion and emotion. So there's a big lesson here in being able to balance those two things really well, and being mindful of this being balanced within you. And what is interesting is this is kind of it being clarified by the Five of Swords. This is really an opposing kind of energy, because the Five of Swords is really about tension. It's about disagreements. It's about misunderstandings or situations where everyone is kind of trying to be heard, right? So balance here is needed, but conflict might be making it difficult right now. And there's another message I'm getting here is, because water is all about, consciousness. I think sometimes we can, it's like coming back to here where we might be driven too much by our ego. And I think this card is saying, it's not about going, you were right and I was wrong and that type of thing. But this is Apollo, the sun god, really kind of checking this person here. And I wish I could remember the name of this person on this journey. But this is about not winning at all costs, because I think sometimes we can cut off our nose despite our face because we just want to be right. So it's really important that you're aware of this and that you keep yourself really balanced with this situation and this choice that you're making. Now, this choice you're making, as I said before, it's a general reading, so it might not be about love. It could be about anything. It could be about your own self-love. It could be about you shifting a mindset that you have to create more self-love and making a choice to, shift things within you to then create better relationships, as well as a better, not a better version of yourself, but I think you know what I mean, a more balanced and healed version of yourself. We then have the Seven of Swords and the Knight of Wands here. So this is really about, there might be a few things happening here kind of beneath the surface is what I'm getting here. So someone might not be really expressing their full truth, or there might be assumptions being made rather than direct communication. And the Knight of Wands is all about like urgency and impulsiveness. So really what's going on here is the message is slow down before acting, because there might be more to the situation than is currently visible. So you need to avoid making rush decisions or reacting purely from emotion is what I'm getting here. Maybe you're not being really honest with yourself about this situation, or maybe you're not really being honest with someone else about a situation or this situation, but you'll need to take it as it resonates. And if this reading is really about you, but let's be honest, talking about honesty, this reading is about you. So this is, let's be real, that this is really about you not being honest with yourself or others with this situation. And maybe ego is getting involved here, where it's kind of like you're not wanting to face this shadow side of yourself where, maybe sometimes you get caught up with trying to win to protect your ego rather than seeing everything from a more objective and balanced point of view. Maybe you're not confident enough within yourself to kind of feel like you're making the right choice about something. But with the swords here, this is all about the mind. This is about using like the mind and communication. And sometimes, I'm not saying that you're manipulative, but sometimes it can be used to kind of use like strategy to win things, or to keep secrets, or not be fully honest with yourself or others here. So there's this important theme here of like kind of keeping your ego in check, also knowing your worth, making sure that you make a decision that is based on objectivity and also like a balanced decision. And just being honest with yourself and not trying to rush something as well. Now we have two other cards of words of advice. We have the Ten of Cups and we have Moon Goddess, Higher Power. So the Ten of Cups is really saying the Ten of Cups is asking you to focus on what brings genuine happiness, peace, and emotional fulfillment to you, okay? And so the question isn't who wins, right, is a big message I'm getting here. But the question is what creates harmony and lasting happiness. And that's what needs to let that guide your next steps, is what I'm getting here. With this oracle card here, the Moon Goddess reminds you to really trust your intuition, and that not everything is meant to be understood immediately, and that some answers will reveal themselves over time. So this card really encourages you to trust your inner knowing, to kind of pay attention to dreams, feelings, and instincts, and allow things to unfold naturally, because the deeper truth is still emerging. Another message I'm getting here is that sometimes it's hard to be able to know if you can trust your intuition if you're in this type of energy, especially this energy. You've got to be balanced. And I remember someone asking me once, when can I trust my intuition? And I said, when you are feeling balanced. If you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling angry, if you are feeling overly happy, as in like, I think you know what I mean, then you can't trust your intuition. That's what, from my experience, trusting your intuition is when you are balanced, not when you're kind of, when I say over happy, I mean on this huge high happiness, okay? Because it is beautiful if you're that high and happy because you're coming from a heart-centered, but sometimes that can also misconstrue messages as well and not allow you to see clearly. So I think, this is really about balance and you learning about balance, okay? So the overall message here, Pile 1, is you are moving through a period of significant change and transformation. And while things may feel uncertain, you are really being guided back to your authentic self here, okay? Trust your intuition, avoid unnecessary conflict, and don't rush decisions, and make sure you're being honest with yourself and with others. Because I feel like sometimes you can rush into things too quickly, trying to amend things or trying to make decisions, but you're not honest enough. So yeah. And focus on what truly brings peace, happiness, and emotional fulfillment without being driven by ego, okay, in a balanced state. All right, Pile 1, I really hope you enjoyed your reading as much as I did doing it for you. Please feel very free to leave feedback and comments below, and I'll see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, Pile 2, or for those of you who chose magical, this is your reading. This is interesting. I feel like for this particular group, there is something being conjured. You're trying to conjure something, or you're trying to create something, but you might be bending over too far. Because we have this tree bent over here. Maybe you're bending over too far. Maybe you're trying too hard, but let's get into it, okay? So your overarching energy is the Knight of Wands. So in Greek mythology, this feels like the hero kind of setting off on a quest, full of passion, determination, and this desire to really move forward. Now there's a lot of fire here, so you are really eager for progress, answers, action, or change with whatever this situation is. Please take it as it resonates for you. So the challenge with this energy is that it can sometimes move faster than wisdom. And the Knight wants to charge ahead, but the reading is really suggesting there may be deeper emotions that need attention first, okay? So the overall arching energy here is that you really want to move forward, and there's something that you want to move quickly. It's something you're passionate about, but there are first some emotional truths that need to be acknowledged, okay? Let's look at what they are. Okay, you have two major arcanas here with the Devil and the Emperor. Major arcanas are about karmic lessons that we can learn from if we choose to, right? Let's get into it. So to start off with, we have, this is really powerful. We have the Three of Swords and the Devil. So in Greek mythology, the devil often kind of talks about being bound by something, whether it be kind of like an old wound, a fear, attachment, resentment, guilt, unhealthy patterns, or maybe a story we keep telling ourselves that keeps us bound in an unhealthy way of being or situation or relationship, or just a way of being, generally speaking. Because if you're bound to yourself in an unhealthy way and you don't have wounds that aren't fully healed, and you're just running on like unhealthy coping mechanisms, this is going to bleed out into other areas of your life, right? So this is really being able to be aware of this shadow side and being able to detach from it. So it's not about like hating that part of yourself. It's about admitting that it exists and knowing how to say to it, hey, thanks for letting me know that I'm being triggered here, or the old wounds are coming up, or whatever, or that this isn't a healthy situation. What can I do about it now? Okay, because we don't want shame here. With the Three of Swords, which was the beginning card, this is really about, you know, this is heartache, this is disappointment and an emotional pain. And I remember this story being about, I think vaguely remember it being about the queen and her son killing the king. I can't remember why, but this is heartache, and it's heartache that comes from the mind. It's emotional. It's kind of hard to articulate at the moment, but really what this is saying, and I wish I could remember the stories behind these cards. It's just a lot to remember, but basically these cards are encouraging you to honestly look at what emotional wound is still asking to be healed. So there is an old hurt that still has more over the situation, that still has more power over the situation than you are consciously aware of. Or maybe you were, and this is just confirming it, or maybe you weren't, okay? So this doesn't necessarily mean someone is kind of intentionally causing harm, or you're intentionally causing harm. And this reading is meant to be about you. So it's not like you're intentionally causing harm, but it can mean that pain from your past is influencing present decisions and reactions, okay? So it's really important to be aware of that. With the King of Cups and the Nine of Cups, this is really talking about, this energy is a lot softer. The King of Cups is emotionally mature, he's calm, and in mythological terms, he has learned how to navigate emotional waters without being overwhelmed by them. So this person, you can control your emotions. You can be in this energy, right? If you choose to be. If you can overcome this, then that's huge. That's a huge challenge in itself, and you can come into this energy. And the Nine of Cups is often called the wish fulfillment card here, and there is this wish fulfillment with these two being married. I can't remember who they are, but I know that this is Venus. Sorry, Aphrodite. So they're being married here, and this is like a wish fulfillment, right? So this is really about I really feel like there's an opportunity for emotional healing and satisfaction, but it comes through emotional maturity rather than from reacting from old wounds, which is beautiful. So you're being asked to respond from wisdom rather than from hurt. So you can emotionally heal and have more satisfaction, but you've got to be in this energy to make that happen, okay? We then have the Emperor clarified by the Six of Wands. So this is your other major arcana. The Emperor is this is Zeus. This is all about structure, leadership, responsibility, and authority. And in Greek mythology, this can be very Zeus-like because he's the ruler who seeks order and control, right? The Six of Wands brings recognition, success, validation. So together these cards are really suggesting that part of this situation, I think, really involves stepping into your personal authority and confidence. So I feel like there's a need to stop looking externally for validation, for your own validation, and instead trust your own leadership and judgment. And I think there's another message here saying that maybe you're learning to lead your life from confidence rather than insecurity. Oof, what a strong message. This is a cool reading. I like this one because there's a lot here where you can really heal yourself and be magical, right? And maybe see things for what they really are. But I still kind of, and there's a key there. That's the key to unbending and standing straight. Anyway, now your word of advice and your oracle card is the Two of Cups. So this is really beautiful, simple advice. So the Two of Cups is about like genuine connection, mutual understanding, and emotional reciprocity. So this is really saying choose connection over division and choose understanding over defensiveness. So if there's been conflict, the path forward comes through honest communication and meeting each other as equals is what I'm getting here. Because I feel like this water dragon or whatever it is also representative. You know, this is her being rescued, but I kind of feel like it's you rescuing yourself in order to have a beautiful, mutual, lovely connection with someone, even if it's just with yourself. Doesn't matter if it's with someone else or not. I feel like this is really about rescuing yourself, but there's potential here. This can be really, really good. And if this is about a relationship, the relationship you're thinking about can be really, really good. You just got to be able to check yourself here. Now, moonrise cleansing. This is talking about, this kind of feels like the perfect oracle card for this reading, to be honest. This is really suggesting releasing old kind of emotional baggage, letting go of stories that no longer serve you, creating space for something new, and emotional purification. So I think the message here is you don't have to carry the past forever, right? So some emotions, such as like resentments, fears, or attachments, really need to be released now, is what I'm getting here. So the overall message, pile 2 or reading 2, is there's a strong desire to move forward, but you have an old emotional wound or attachment that may still be influencing this situation. So the cards are suggesting that true progress comes from not pushing harder, but from healing what has to be hurt. Emotional maturity, self-confidence, and genuine connection are available for you, but first then there is a need to release what no longer belongs to you. So as you let go of old pain, the path ahead will become much clearer for you. Okay, so the future is asking you to move forward, but not while you're carrying yesterday's wounds on your back, pile 2. So I hope you enjoyed your reading. Please feel free to leave feedback and comments below. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can do so by looking in the description box below where my website details are. And you can also just support me by subscribing to my channel and giving this video a big thumbs up. Thank you so much, pile 2. I'll see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello there, pile 3, last but very not least. Let's get into your reading. It's a really nice reading. Whoops. It's a really nice reading. Let's have a look at what it's saying. We have a few major arcana here. We have the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, which are karmic cards. So there's lessons to be learned there and things to be enjoyed. Let's get into your reading. So if you chose nature, this is your reading. Now, I feel like some of you are about to start a journey, but maybe you're hesitating. And I feel like this rock here is just kind of like looking at you like, what are you going to do? It looks pretty positive though. Like I'm looking at this dog or whatever this is, and it looks quite happy. This rabbit looks quite happy. Part of you is a little bit asleep though, and is unsure is what I'm getting. But let's look at the cards. The overall arching energy is the 9 of Cups. So this is really talking about you wanting to be happy, you wanting to feel emotionally fulfilled. Maybe this is about a relationship. I feel like for a lot of you, this is about a relationship. And it could, if it's not about a relationship, it might just be the relationship with yourself, okay, which of course affects all others. But yeah, wish fulfillment. There's something here that you want to happen, right? That's going to make you happy and feel great. So let's get into it. This is a beautiful reading. We have the 2 of Cups clarified by the 6 of Cups here. So there's some sort of connection here, like I said before, whether it's with yourself or someone else, that is really meaningful with the 6 of Cups. There's a lot of nostalgia here. There's a lot of kind of like, this might be a past relationship. It could be like a relationship of like reconciling. So, you know, maybe there's been a separation, but you want to reconcile. Whatever it is, this looks nice. It looks like a meaningful connection that's really nice, and it's nostalgic. There's a lot of memories here with this connection, and it's very meaningful to you. And if you aren't already aware of that, it is meaningful to you. Maybe you just don't feel that way because we have the 2 of Wands and the 9 of Wands here, which is totally understandable. So this is really talking about you making some sort of decision. And thinking about what you want to do. And I feel like with the Hierophant here in the background, it's representative of something that's quite important to you. and you're trying to keep in consideration your own morals and your values as well, and what is meaningful and important to you, which is really good. But we need to try and remember as well that it's balanced, and we're not just kind of being too stubborn with what our belief system is, and that's kind of final and total and nothing else kind of exists, and what someone else doesn't feel is invalid. I think you know what I mean. That's just making sure that your ego's in check. So, because ego isn't bad inherently, as long as it's not like driving the car for you. Just needs to be there to kind of gently remind you of something, but that's all it's meant to do. So it's a protector. So that's what I'm feeling here with the Nine of Wands. You're very weary about this. Maybe there's been some bad blood or something that didn't go well in this connection. So, or maybe it's from another connection that you've had, and so you're hesitant about this one. Maybe you're hesitant about reconciliation, or maybe you're hesitant about moving forward in this relationship because of things that you've either, experienced in this relationship, and a lot of times as well, it's going to be in old relationships with other people as well. So your past, right? So it's really important that we remember that it's not just about, if you're in a relationship now, it's not just about things that have burdened you from this relationship, but from others as well, because there'll be a repeating cycle. And it's making sure you're aware that you're owning your stuff as well, is what I'm getting here, okay? Because you're cautious of past experiences, okay? You really are, and that's understandable. And for a lot of you, it's been a rocky ride. Your past has been a rocky ride, but you're still interested in this connection, I feel. Otherwise, you wouldn't be thinking about it. Now, with the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, this is really talking about there being like a pretty big shift happening. And this is a really powerful combination, right? Because in Greek mythology, the Wheel of Fortune reminds us that life moves in cycles, and that fate often opens doors when the timing is right, okay? And I feel like for some of you, you've really had to be in the right place for this to happen. For some of you, I feel like it's meant you being in a more enlightened state, or you sort of like coming more into awareness of your own way of being and your own kind of stuff, right? Because that's important. And the need for there to be a shift, and the need to be a change in order for the Sun, this happiness, right? So, and with the Sun, this is one of the most positive cards in the whole deck, if you ask me. It's the Sun. So this, the Sun is all about success and joy and all this, and clarity as well, because the Sun, you can see things properly when it's sunny, right? So together, these cards are really saying there's a turn there. Things are turning in a positive direction, if you can take these messages on board, okay? So kind of what may have been, it's funny how I was putting that at the top, what may kind of have felt uncertain is moving towards greater clarity for you. And the Sun shines light on what's been hidden and brings warmth, optimism, and understanding. So this is a beautiful reading. So trust that life is moving where you need it to be. You just need to, as I said before, take these messages on, because they're really important. With your Oracle card, we have with your Oracle card, we have take a risk. So this kind of fits beautifully with the Two of Wands, because the moonflower blooms at night and often symbolizes kind of trusting your path even when you can't see every step ahead. And that's why it's cool, because you have the sun and the moon, because you can't always trust what you can't see, what's dark, right? So the message really here is don't let fear make the decision for you, okay? You might not have complete certainty, but there is encouragement here to be brave enough to move toward what you want. Now we have our last word of advice as well, which is the Four of Cups. So what I'm really getting here is this is really interesting advice, because it's asking you to not become so focused on what is missing that you it's asking you to not become so focused on what is missing that you overlook what is being offered. So stay open. Don't kind of let hesitation, boredom, fear, or past disappointments stop you from seeing an opportunity that may already be in front of you. So pile 3, the overall message here is that there's a meaningful connection or opportunity in your life that really carries genuine warmth and potential here. So part of you wants to move forward while another part of you remains cautious because of past experiences, right? The cards are really suggesting that positive change is unfolding. So even if you can't see the entire path ahead yet, right? Just, trust the timing of your life and stay open to what is being offered here, pile 3. And don't allow old fears to kind of prevent you from taking a chance on something that can bring you real happiness. I feel like you're kind of standing at a doorway and your heart wants you to move forward, but a part of you still protecting itself from past hurts. Okay, so stay open. All right, pile 3, I hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope it's given you clarity and or insight. Thank you so much for your ongoing love and support. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can find my details in the description box below. If you would like to leave me a tip, you can find my PayPal below. If you would like to follow me on social media, you can find the details below. And if you'd like to support me in another way, you can do so by subscribing to my channel and giving it a thumbs up. And of course, please feel very free to leave feedback and comments below pile 3. All right, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.